Catherine, thanks so much for volunteering to speak a little bit about the work we've done together. We've done 5 sessions together. So first of all, I'd like to invite you to tell people what you came for, what was going on for you before you contacted me.
Well, it was mostly, I just wanted clarity of goals. You know, I set those goals, but that have fuzzy edges on them. And then also the motivation to carry them through and also to stick to them, which was the big thing. We all make goals, but it's just hard to stick to them. So that was my reason for contacting you in the first place.
And those were your goals, but there were things holding you back, right? There was presenting symptoms, should we say, whenever you moved towards those goals, blocks came up.
Yes, yeah. I was like I would be the classic procrastinator. I would get annoyed at myself when I didn't stick to my goals, and I suppose I realized I have certain quite high standards for myself, but that's through working with you I realized that. And I would hold myself back from achieving certain goals and certain standards or certain things I wanted to achieve. And I also would have been a great one for like comfort eating or boredom eating, and then that snowballed again then back into being annoyed with myself and, you know, just started the whole thing back again.
So you had a classic circle where the thing would repeat itself over and over.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Start off great and then end up getting annoyed at myself again because it didn't work.
And before you came to me, you had tried other things, didn't you, for working on these types of issues?
Yes, I had tried other therapies, mainly hypnotherapy. And I just found with the hypnotherapy that I was constantly trying to come up with answers. It was like the therapist was sitting there looking at me, expecting me to come up with certain answers, and I'd be wrecking my brains just trying to think of something. So the flow wasn't natural, and I just found it hard work, and I didn't get any results from it at all.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do think hypnotherapy training is very limited, and it can be a bit hit and miss. So the kind of hypnotherapy, was that the one thing you tried? Were there other things you tried?
Well, I would have gone to a therapist as well, but I would be the type of person that I don't want to spend months and months and months in a therapist's chair, scraping with the teaspoon, as I call it, at my issues. So it's probably part of my personality, but I do like a faster fix and something that will just delve in there and get to the root of the problem.
And that's the thing, you really don't have to, at this day and age, spend a long time in therapy to resolve some of these types of things, these unconscious blocks.
Yes, yeah, and just go over and over and over.
As we will hear from you now shortly, I believe. So,
yes.
Yeah, so what was it like working with me? Describe your experience.
It was amazing, and it was it's very hard to describe it. We would be chatting, and it was like there was those memories coming up, issues. I would even go as far as calling some of them traumas that I had buried since my childhood. Like, we actually, working together, unearthed 4 of them, and I had them completely blanked. And I am talking about when I was about 6 or 7 years of age, maybe even younger with 1 or 2 of them. I had them totally blanked out, and they just came up through. There was no, like, you know, none of this probing or, you know, keep thinking, you know. They just came out. They just happened. I was actually amazed at 1 or 2 of them myself. Where did it come out of? But and I have to say, I found that it just happened, and it just flowed, and it made me realize that some of those issues, or probably all of those issues, were the causes of a lot of the blockages in me moving forward in my life and with my goals and with what I wanted to do. But it just as I say, it just flowed. It was always a pleasant experience, and I always felt after every session I got something out of it. You know, it was
so when we talk about the word trauma, you said, you know, some of these experiences were traumatic, and they very often are, especially for young children who can't analyze very well or think their way out of something. So we dealt with trauma, right? And how difficult was that in working with me to deal with? You know, you would expect it to be traumatic dealing with it. Was it traumatic?
Yeah, when the issues came up first, especially one or two of them, I would have gone, oh my God, you know, this now is just going to be. But it was just, there was no, it just happened. It was just an easy process to get through it, and it was it was an easy process to get through it, and it wasn't, while the event was traumatic, dealing with it and getting to a nicer place wasn't. It's the way I would word it.
Yeah, absolutely. And my first emphasis is on safety, completely, to keep people safe in their experience, so that it's not like reliving.
Yes.
It's just like reviewing rather than reliving.
Yes, yeah. When you say that now, that's the way it was.
Right.
That's the way it happened.
Yeah.
You obviously knew you were doing that. I didn't. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so in what ways has your life changed since then?
Oh, I'm much more confident in myself. I'm much happier and a lot more focused. And I just, even just with the way I speak to myself much kinder now, like you had taught me to. And if I feel myself slipping, you know, even in my diet or in my, you know, exercise goals or whatever, I just remind myself that I deserve this and I'm worth it. And to have that tool, that might seem like a small thing, but to have that tool to actually just remind yourself, it just makes all the difference. That day that you're craving something, or you're not going to go out and do your exercise, you remind yourself of what your goal is and why you deserve it, and that you do deserve it. So yeah, I have I just feel a whole lot of clarity, just like an inner peace. Yeah.
Beautiful. So the big question, would you recommend me, and would you recommend this work to people?
Oh yes, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, I have to say it's one of the best things I've ever done for myself. You know, we can go out and spend loads of money on lovely clothes and whatever, but it still doesn't do it, as we all know. You know, we're just kind of always looking for something else, and it was just so worth it. It was so worth the time and the effort and energy I put into it. And I have to say, working with yourself, Susanna, was just so easy, and it was such a pleasure. You know, it was, you know, we even had some laughs along the way. And
yeah, I love that, actually, that little bit of humor coming in.
Yeah, we did.
Some of it is so serious, so I think it's really important to bring the humor in to make it bearable.
Yes, yeah. And you're also very easy to work with in, you know, the sense, we were trying to come up with an image for something one day, and you were saying, I said, I can't think of one right now. So you had one in your mind, and you gave me that one. Whereas, you know, I would have felt with other therapists I've been to, I'd be left for 10, 15 minutes sitting there thinking of something, creating something. So I just found the whole process so easy, and I would highly recommend it. Yeah. And I have done already, actually.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm so thrilled for the results you got. That's just amazing. We might just add, Catherine, that all of this was online, right? This was exactly as we are talking now. That's how we had our sessions. I think that's important. I think, you know, there's still a lot of prejudice about working online, and can you make a connection with someone? What would you say about that piece?
Oh, absolutely. And I have to say, I did have those doubts, even though I don't think I said that to you. I did have those doubts at the time, at the beginning. but due to the current situation, there was no traveling. And absolutely not. Like, and that was the part that did amaze me. You know, when I say how easy you connected into me, with the being by screen and us not sitting in the same room and sitting a short distance from each other. I mean, it was brilliant. It just worked. Yeah. And you're in the comfort and the privacy of your own home, and you're just relaxed, and you're not having to be driving through traffic and whatever. So I would highly recommend it.
There are benefits too, right? You're saving yourself a lot of time. It fits into your life much easier.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think it's for some people anyway. There can be an anxious experience too, coming to see someone because you're out of your comfort zone, you're out of your own space, and
exactly, yes, yeah.
It's possible to do it from the comfort of your.
Oh, yeah, very much, and I would actually, it would be the way I would go again. Yeah, I find it. I found the whole experience brilliant.
So, Catherine, thank you so much for chatting to me and for sharing your experience with people. Much appreciated. I think that will be very useful for people to hear this. And best wishes for you. We'll be in touch, and can't wait to hear how you're getting on.
Thank you very much. And it was a pleasure. Thank you.
And the pleasure was on my side equally as much. Really enjoyed working with you.
Thank you.